My people, what up and welcome inside the Edward Jones chatting cage. I'm Stephen Nelson, and I'm so pumped to be back with you. This is one of the favorite things that I get to do here at MLB Network because I get to hang out with you guys, not just spewing baseball at you, but actually talking baseball with you. This show is all about you guys, the fans. There are a couple ways you can get involved. One, you click the green button, you sign in, you sign up, and then you ask your questions to our special guests. Or if you're feeling a little shy, you don't want to hop on camera, you don't want anybody to hear your voice, I understand. You can also go on social media, use the hashtag chatting cage. Hashtag chatting cage. I got the hashtag right in front of me. I'll hit refresh. I'll get all of your questions in here. Who is our special guest? You are wondering. Kansas City Royals second baseman and my favorite Japanese game show contestant, Whit Merrifield. Whit, what's up, my man?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing well. That's what we have to start with, because when I saw that story come out earlier this year, you being a contestant on a Japanese game show, I was like, I hope I get to talk to Whit Merrifield about this. So can you provide us the background story of how that even happened?
Well, they just talked to my agent. You know, they contacted my agent. My agent kind of thought it was a hoax originally. Brought it to me, kind of, you know, unsure with what I would say, and he told me what it was, and really without much more information, I said, yeah, you know, I anytime I get a chance to travel somewhere, and you know, if I can do it on someone else's dime, I'm definitely gonna take advantage of that.
So the game essentially was you have to use your speed, which obviously people know you have, and try and go and touch a ball before it hits the ground.
Yeah, so there's a platform with a mat, and there's a volleyball suspended in the air, and then there's
That's incredible.
a stand with a button, you know, a certain amount of distance from the mat. So when you hit the button, the volleyball drops, and you got to run and dive and try to touch the ball before it hits the mat. So
did you win?
No, I finished second. There was a guy on their national soccer team that finished first, but Justin Gatlin was there competing against me, and I beat him. So I was, I mean, if you look at that, I'm pretty much the fastest man in the world because he just beat Usain Bolt.
It's just science.
I beat Gatlin. That's just how it works, right?
Yeah. Speaking of game shows, we're going to welcome in our first fan for you, Whit, here on the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. What's your name, and what do you got for Mr. Merrifield?
What up, guys? How's it going, Willie?
What's up, man? How you doing?
My man. This is Will Severns. Yeah, so born and raised in Kansas City. I'm currently teaching at an alternative education school in Indiana. But I'm actually flying down next week. I'll be there for the Yankee series. I'm pumped. Yeah, quick couple questions. First one. So my dad, fun fact, he actually played with Ned in the Brewers system. Went on to coach me and my brothers, and recently wrote a book called Keepers of the Sandlot, where the main message is for parents, coaches to just relax and enjoy the time that their kids have to play the game. So my first question for you, man, is, is there a coach in particular who had a specific impact on you and just really instilled in you a love for the game, more so than the drive that it takes to get where you've been?
Really, my dad was my coach from the time I was little until I got to high school. He's who I learned the game from. He's who taught me everything I know about the game, and still to this day, he's my guy I go to when I need, you know, if I'm struggling or I need some sort of advice as far as baseball goes. He's my guy. He was a heck of a player back in his day, and he understands the game, and I've been very fortunate and blessed to have a guy like that by my side from really the time I can swing a bat.
All right, so we have another question from Will. Will, what's number two?
Yeah, so sticking with the game show theme, I'm curious, man, if there was a teammate that you could actually go on The Amazing Race with. I actually never really watched the show, but those commercials are always pretty entertaining, and so I'm guessing it's a cool show. So yeah, I'm curious, which teammate would that be? Who would you want to do The Amazing Race with?
Ooh, an Amazing Race contestant. Honestly, it'd probably have to be Alex Gordon. He's quite the competitor, and I feel like in certain situations like that, he'd be a pretty good guy to have by your side. So I'd probably say Alex Gordon would be my guy.
Is there a dream game show for you, Whit, now that you're kind of just going around the world, globetrotting and checking them off your list?
You know, if they ever brought back Legends of the Hidden Temple,
yes.
that'd be me. I'd be all about that.
Whit, I think we just became best friends. We're going back to social media where people can ask questions with the hashtag chatting cage, and this one comes to us from a big Royals fan, Emily Wells, Emily L. Wells 07. Which stadium, besides Kauffman, do you like the best?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm an East Coast guy, so anytime I can come to the East Coast and play, you know, I usually have family and friends, so that's always cool for me. Probably my favorite one so far that I've got to play in is probably Fenway. Baseball players are kind of weird when it comes to that. You know, we relate to stadiums with our success. You know, if you go somewhere and you play well and you have success, you're going to like that place a little more than a different place.
Totally.
And I've been fortunate to have a little bit of success in Fenway, and it's just a cool atmosphere, a cool historic stadium, obviously. So that's probably my spot outside of Kauffman.
All right, he is Whit Merrifield inside the Edward Jones chatting cage with us. We have another fan to welcome in. Introduce yourself and fire away.
Hey, my name is Parker. I'm here in Manhattan, Kansas. Big fan. Bought your jersey as soon as I could, as soon as it was on the shelves. My question is for you. I know baseball is a long season, so I was wondering kind of what you like to do during those off-season few short months that you have.
Well, the first couple months, I live back in North Carolina in the off season, so we get I usually get a month or two of good weather. So whenever I can, I get out and play as much golf as I can. But I usually like to take at least one vacation in off season. I'll go down to the Caribbean or somewhere warm and tropical, and I love the water. I got to be by the water, so that's what I do. But other than that, I work out with my brother who's in high school back at home. So he's kind of my workout buddy, and really just I train pretty hard and pretty intensely in the off season. So I give myself a couple weeks off, and then get right into training. And in between training, I go out and play a little golf when I can.
Wait, you talk about your family. Your brother just committed, right? Did I see that?
Yeah, he committed.
Okay.
I guess it was last fall to Wake Forest.
Oh, that's awesome. That's where your pops played. And we have this question from Brian on social. Your dad isn't the only athlete in your family. Your mom was the state champion tennis player. And you mentioned your brother. Who is the most athletic member in the Merrifield household?
The best athlete in the house is probably my brother. I hate to say that. As far as all-around athlete, he's 6'3", 200 pounds, runs like a deer, and big and strong. I can still handle him in certain things just because I'm a little more educated than he is. But I definitely get my athleticism from my mom. My dad was a big, strong guy, but my mom was quite the athlete on the tennis court. So she's where my athleticism comes from.
And again, you beat Justin Gatlin, so you're the fastest human on the planet.
There you go.
All right, with this one from Natalie on social. You posted a video on Instagram working on your golf trick shots. Let's just say that it didn't go according to plan. Have you made any improvements on your swing?
Yeah, I mean, that's obvious. That was a little bit of a weird situation. We had a trick shot guy. We had a charity golf outing, and Patty Whack was his name, and he was out there doing trick shots, and he set a golf ball up on a tee about chest high, and he gave me one of his drivers to try to hit the ball, and ended up snapping the head off his driver. So it was. I have a couple of college friends, the Bryan brothers, who got kind of Instagram famous doing trick shots, and I sent them a text and told them I gained a lot of respect for them and their trick shots.
We got another fan to welcome inside the Edward Jones chatting cage, so let's say hello. So you can say hello to Whit. What's going on, my man?
Hello, Mr. Merrifield. I actually just got out of school. I'm Daniel from South Jersey. So my question for you is, who is the best pitcher that you've ever faced in your career, major leagues or minor leagues?
What's up, Daniel? That's a good question. There's a lot of really good pitchers. Obviously, in the big leagues, it's the best in the world. But I don't know. I faced Kershaw last year and didn't go so well. We got Corey Kluber in our division, who I think is one of the best right-handed pitchers, if not the best right-handed pitcher in the game. But yeah, I don't know. Kershaw was a tough day for me. So I'll give him the nod on that one.
You're not alone, Whit. Hey, we got Whit Merrifield in with us for the Kansas City Royals for the next few minutes here inside the Edward Jones chatting cage. We're going to blitz through a few more questions because we're getting some on social with the hashtag chatting cage. But let's start with the EDJ question of the day. Whit, your Major League debut was almost a couple years ago exactly, May 18th, 2016. What do you remember most about that day?
It was a crazy day. Yeah, it was. So the day before, we were actually playing in Tacoma. We had an 11 a.m. kids' day, and so we played, and then we went straight to Chambers Bay after the game and played 18 holes, which was an awesome course. I stepped off 18, got the call from my manager saying I was going to the big leagues. So obviously I was thrilled. Went back to the hotel, called out my family. Had a 3 a.m. cab the next day going to the airport. So I didn't really sleep. I'm working on no sleep. Get to the park, and I realized that we played in Tacoma, but we had an off day the next day, and then we were going to Reno. So after the game, they shipped all of our stuff to Reno on the bus, so they didn't have to go on the plane. So I get to Kansas City and realize I don't have any of my stuff. So I'm going to have to make my Major League debut, barring cleats, barring gloves, barring a bat, batting gloves, everything. And that was a little bit nerve-wracking for me, but it was game 2 of a doubleheader. We played the Boston Red Sox. So I didn't get to take BP or anything because I played in the second game, didn't get activated till the second game. So everything was kind of a whirlwind. But I really, like I said, I didn't sleep much the night before, so I think I was so tired that everything just kind of leveled out for me. And I was fortunate to get a hit in my second at bat. So I got, the first hit out of the way, first game, and everything just kind of happened from there.
Just a couple short moments left with Whit Merrifield inside the Edward Jones chatting cage. Whit, Brooke is asking for a picture May 20th during the Yankee series. But let's go with Shara's question. Shara Shepard, if you didn't play baseball, what other sport would you have played and why?
Well, I played football and basketball, also in high school, and loved both of those tremendously. I wasn't big enough to continue in football, and my jumper wasn't good enough to continue to play basketball. So, if I could pick, if I could be an athlete and be as athletic as I wanted, I'd probably be a football player. I'd love to be a golfer. I'd love to be on tour. That would be awesome. I'd love to be a basketball player. So I love all sports, and each of them have their own qualities that I like about them. So probably football, though, would stick out. Whit
Merrifield, he does a little bit of everything, including hang out with you fans inside the Edward Jones chatting cage. Whit, we appreciate the time. Because I hope it's not an if. I'm going to say when, speak it into existence, right? When Legends of the Hidden Temple comes back, you're going to be our first phone call, and we're going on together.
That's it. I'm in.
Whit Merrifield, Kansas City Royals, and enjoy Baltimore. We'll talk to you down the road, my friend.
All right, thanks.
All right, our thanks to Whit, and our thanks to you guys for hanging out inside the EDJ chatting cage. We'll do this every once in a while, whenever we can, really. And it's about bridging the gap between the players that you love and you follow every single day and you guys, the fans. It gives you a platform to ask them pretty much anything you want, whether it's about baseball or whether it's about Japanese game shows, in Whit's case. Either way, it's a ton of fun with you. So for our crew here, I'm Stephen Nelson. See you next time. Shoots.